Welcome, reality designers, to the Hypnosis by Design podcast. I am your host, Denny Van. I am a professional linguist and master hypnotist, and I'm also a 5-1 emotional manifester, left ankle cross of education. So, good morning from Chicago. It's about 4 a.m. as of this recording. And I myself have been experiencing some manifester musings. So if you're a manifester, you might relate to this. If you want to get to know manifestors, listen in, because the one part of me, and you might have a one too, investigator, if you're the investigator, you might be able to relate to this too. So long story short, I have been mewing and thinking about the Mona Lisa. Here's why. As a manifester, and not just any manifester, a 5-1, the heretic, my whole life I had a tendency of shooting off at the mouth, saying things maybe not appropriate, pissing people off, being informed that I don't have a filter. So these kind of things. So what I learned over the years, especially the last couple of years, I learned a technique called mewing, Mewing. And this term was popularized by Dr. John Mew. And as a craniosacral therapist, I was a licensed massage therapist. I let go of my license during COVID in 2022, and I became licensed in 2008. But my specialty is craniosacral therapy and understanding how the bone structure of the cranium, the skull, the jaw, and then the soft tissue within the mouth. So I've studied these things and I've worked on these parts of the body. And lately, I've been mewing. And I have to tell you, as a 5-1 manifester, it works. It's a technique that works. It saved me in the last couple of years so many times from saying something I shouldn't. So, mewing, what is it? It is a technique used to put the tongue in its place. So, when you put the tongue in its place, so many wonderful things happen. Number one, your jaw begins to recognize where it's supposed to be, and you actually begin to exercise the muscles of the face, and the whole structure of the face could begin to change for the better as you use this technique. So I began using this technique for the reason of being a 5-1 manifester, to have a little more control over my tongue. Couple of things I noticed. When I put my tongue in its place, my thoughts slow down. So the in my design, the head energy centers are both defined. So I have the throat and both energy centers in the head defined. So I have a mind that doesn't shut up. And sometimes I'm not even aware that I'm saying it out loud, right? So becoming aware of this, and mewing has been a gift from Dr. John Mew. And if you don't know about it, go check it out, especially if you're a manifester or maybe one who has a tendency to shoot off at the mouth. Criticisms, judgments, opinions, you name it. If you have that tendency, this is a wonderful exercise to do. And so I've been sharing this with other manifestors. And some of the things that we've noticed is that it does change the structure of your face. And it does help you rein in the tongue to keep it from lashing out. And I've been looking at people and seeing the structure of their face as a recorded craniosacral therapist. So we studied the nerves of the cranium all the way down the spine, and the muscle and the soft tissue and the bones, what have you. And I began to notice the structure of people's faces and noticing, who is mewing and who is not. And then all of a sudden, the picture of the Mona Lisa became popular. And I'm looking at the Mona Lisa and I'm like, I have a theory. My theory is that the Mona Lisa is mewing. All right, so think about this for a second. Leonardo da Vinci, did he intend to depict the muscle and bone structure of the jaw? Because if you look at his work as an artist and as a scientist, this is a unique perspective on this iconic painting. And so, first, we want to delve deeper into this concept of mewing and how it relates to the facial anatomy. When you put your tongue in its place, magical things happen. So, this term again was popularized by Dr. John Mew. He was an orthodontist. And if you've ever had orthodontia, you know that it could change the whole structure of your face, your smile, and what you look like. And he's the one who proposed that proper tongue posture against the roof of the mouth. Now, not pushing up at the roof of the mouth. There's a whole technique, and you can do it the wrong way and mess up your face, but you want to make sure you do it the right way. But when you have this proper technique down, it can influence facial development and alignment of the teeth and the jaw. This is huge. So, this technique aims to improve overall facial aesthetics, if you will, and promoting correct oral posture. Your jaw, your tongue, your teeth are all in the correct place. Just like when you walk, you don't want to walk with your toes pointed out or your toes pigeon-toed. You want to make sure that you're walking with your toes forward because, in nonverbal communication, the feet never lie. So, just like this, the tongue is connected to every single part of the body because the tongue is connected to all of the connective tissue, the fascia within the body. And so the technique itself improves the aesthetics of the face because it's putting the jaw in the right place. So if we're looking at the Mona Lisa, I can only imagine how Da Vinci might have been maybe a little bit ahead of his time in understanding or depicting principles related to this facial harmony and structure and emphasizing these elements in the Mona Lisa's expression. Da Vinci may have subtly hinted at underlying anatomical features like the jaw muscles, the skeletal contours throughout her smile, and maybe discovering how Leonardo da Vinci might have incorporated an understanding of facial anatomy in his iconic painting. And I was so surprised when looking at the paintings, how small it actually was at the Louvre. But his expertise in exhibiting these characteristics within the Mona Lisa, in both his artistic and scientific viewpoint, I think allowed him to incorporate this detailed anatomy underneath the skin because you can see it as a trained massage therapist. I can tell if one hip is rotated or one leg seems longer than the other because of the way the hip is moving. You can see it underneath from the structure of the bone. And this is where he is able to weave together this context with the theory, and today with using mewing and putting the tongue back in its place. Because what we see today, and I see this a lot in people's faces, is when the tongue is released, I notice within myself, when I release my tongue, it's not in its proper place. I feel more anxious and my thoughts go a lot more. When I put my tongue in its place, everything is in its place, and I seem to open up more of the internal listening rather than hearing my thoughts. So my tongue is in its place, the body is relaxed, and I'm able to hear what I'm not hearing, to see what I'm not seeing, to feel what I'm not feeling. So this allows you some space to hear. And my theory about the painting showcasing the muscle and bone structure under the jaw with a concept like mewing really had me in my mind going. It's like, okay, I'm seeing this everywhere. What's the Mona Lisa mewing? It would make total sense because Leonardo, da Vinci, he was a scientist. I mean, he did the anatomy paintings and pictures of the body and the bone structure and how it was measured. I mean, everything in such great detail that we benefit from all of this today. But to expand on this idea, which involves this proper tongue posture at the roof of the mouth, has changed not only my structure of my jaw. I'm 58 years old, and as an older person, we have a tendency to, on the face, gravity starts to take its toll on the face, and everything kind of, hangs. But I'm noticing a difference in my jawline. I should find a picture and do a side by side. Um, but it does take time to change this. And the secret is that I've learned, here's another thing I've learned from sharing this with others. A couple of clients have told me that they have greatly reduced snoring at night. Here's the secret: do mewing properly as much as possible during the day while you're awake, because your body processes what you did during the day while you're asleep. So if you're during the day breathing through your mouth and your tongue is down, not in its proper place, guess what you're going to be doing at night? You're going to be breathing heavy through your mouth and your tongue is going to be down. However, try this and I want to hear your comments. Let me know how this is working for you. It might take, a few weeks, and I use an app that monitors my sleep and will do sounds. So there's apps that you can use to measure these results, because I'm all about measurable results. So during the day, what's really important, if you can mew as much as possible during the day, you will start to see a dramatic result in your sleep quality. So if you're not getting sleep, you're waking up anxious, you're breathing through the mouth, you wake up with that awful gym shoe taste in your mouth, all of these things can be changed. They can be changed. It takes decision to follow through on doing the practice, because with this, I'm sorry, there's no magic pill. You got to do the work. However, I'm here to tell you it freaking works. So in exploring, this theory and depicting, was he depicting that the Mona Lisa was mewing? Was he? I mean, think about it. Now, I bet you're going to be looking at the Mona Lisa from a totally different view from now on, and looking at how her bone structure is. And considering this perspective, you know, it is plausible to suggest that just maybe Da Vinci could have been intentional in showing and depicting these subtle nuances to the muscle and bone structure in the Mona Lisa's face. I mean, how cool is that? Because mewing as a concept involves proper tongue structure and posture. I love that term, tongue posture. Do you have proper tongue posture? Because if you don't, it can cause all kinds of problems in your life. And I'm living proof of this. My clients are living proof of this. And so, how does this relate to hypnosis by design? I have no idea. However, this is a manifestor musing. These are some of the things that I ask questions about. And then next thing I know, information is coming to me, and I'm able to put some puzzle pieces together to make transformation. This is how we create transformation, because there's nothing new out there in the world. only what we can do to apply to ourselves and maybe combine two things like we did, hypnosis and human design. This combination is powerful. This mewing manifestors musing on mewing and the Mona Lisa could change lives, literally. So try it. And in the meantime, reality designers, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you love, and I want to know what you would love more of. And in the meantime, keep being amazing.